Yo, what's good, YouTube? Zamcrow here, aka Scoot, back with the Pokemon Battle Federation Season 4, Week number 9 match against Andy, coach of the St. Louis Carbinks, also known as Nina Mori Fanboy. Now, we're both sitting at 5 and 2, I believe. I think. He's coming off a couple losses, I'm coming off a couple wins, and now we're facing off. So, he's got, of course, a scary team, and my team's pretty scary. Depends on how you look at both teams, I guess. He has Mega Scizor, Garchomp, Mamoswine, Wishy Washy, Alolan Muck, Delphox, Kabutops, Pelipper, Chestnut, Granbull, and Magnezone. And I have Mega Pinsir, Manaphy, Nidoqueen, Emboar, Donphan, Cofagrigus, Steelix, Mew, Hydreigon, Electros, and Miltank. I'm going to go over my team real quick and then explain some things from preview here. First off, I have Manaphy, which is a Calm Mind rest set with hydration in case he brought Pelipper, which would set up the rain for me, and hydration would wake me up immediately from my rest. Calm Mind, Scald, and Hidden Power Electric is basically all I needed. Now, I don't really have a way to hit Chestnut or Garchomp super effectively, but neither one of them want to switch in on a Scald. Take a Scald, or the rest of my team deals with them pretty well. I am rocking the Waconberry so that things like Scarf Magnezone can't revenge kill me if unless I'm a little bit like, well, I guess it depends on the scenario and in complete general. Like if I had a Calm Mind or something plus my Waconberry, then Magnezone would have a hard time dealing with me still. I'm pretty defensive, so I can take on things like Garchomp and Mamoswine, as well as the Kabutops and Mega Scizor to an extent. Next up, though, we're going to have Mega Pinsir here, boasting that 125 base attack. Well, 155 after he Mega Evolves. Just a standard set: Swords Dance, Frustration, Quick Attack, and Earthquake. Swords Dance plus Quick Attack allows me to clean up the late game if everything is in range and all checks have been, extinguished. Frustration for General Stab, Earthquake for Alolan Marowak. In case I don't have an SD up and I don't want to risk getting poisoned, I would just go straight for an Earthquake to make sure, after like 2 Rock Switch-ins, it's guaranteed knockout. Also knocks out the Magnezone from full, unless it is sturdy or has a Focus Sash or a Shukaberry. But then again, that's what we have next up, Nidoqueen for. Focus Sash set with Sheer Force, Stealth Rock, Earthquake, Fire Punch, and Thunder Punch. Enough speed to speed creep a Scizor that's speed creeping defensive Mew. I'm not sure. It's very complicated. Don't really remember what my speed's for, but max attack and then the rest dumped in defense, so I can take bullet punches a little bit more better, and Aqua Jet from, as long as I'm not, beat down already. And then next up is going to be Hydreigon Renegade Life Orb set with Dark Pulse, Flamethrower, Flash Cannon, and Roost. Roost is for longevity against things like Magnezone, Pelipper. If Delphox is locked into like Psychic and I can come in and I can get my health back, Roost up before I start attacking or stuff like that. Dark Pulse is General Stab across the board for his whole team. The only thing that resists is, I think, Scizor, which gets hit extremely hard by the Flamethrower, and Granbull, which gets hit extremely hard by the Flash Cannon. So that's basically my Hydreigon set. My Mew set's a little bit funky. I'm running a pretty defensive set, enough speed to outspeed Mamoswine so I can get a Will-O-Wisp off on it before it can, damage me at all. Also have Taunt, Defog, and U-Turn. Now, I debated switching one of these for some other coverage move, but I figured if I led Mew against a lead Mamoswine Rock's lead, and taunted it and it was oblivious, then I would have that information for later in the match. But then I decided that if he is not oblivious and I taunt him, then that's really good too because he wastes a turn, and then I could will-o-wisp any of his mons besides, of course, Delphox. And I wanted to keep, in case he brings something like a Mega Scizor or a Alolan Muck, I don't necessarily want to lead with my Mew, so I definitely wanted to be able to have Defog in case he did bring those threats that forced me to lead something other than Mew, and then him lead Mamoswine or Garchomp or something and get his rocks up. So I definitely wanted a way to get rid of them and a way to prevent them at the same time. Will-O-Wisp just generally helps me against his physical attackers, and then U-Turn gives me initiative, which comes to my next mon is Electros with max special defense, close to max HP, a little bit of speed investment to speed creep some certain things, and then a little bit of defensive investment with the leftovers. Volt Switch, Flamethrower, Knockoff, and Toxic. Toxic is there for anything bulky, wishy-washy, Delphox even, Kabutops, Pelipper, Chestnut, Granbull, everything. He may pack the Heal Bell on Granbull, but it's something that I'm willing to scout and stuff for. And Knockoff for general utility, to get rid of items and stuff, get rid of some Choice Scarfs or something. Flamethrower is there for Scizor alone. And I guess kind of Mamoswine if it's oblivious and not thick fat. And then Volt Switch is there for initiative. So got me some U-turn initiative with some wall breakers and a couple setup sweepers. Which Mega Pinsir is also a wall breaker without having to set up. That being said, we can hop into the match here and see how it goes. I lead with Electros because now I thought about leading Nidoqueen, which is a pretty good lead, minus things like Delphox and Mamoswine, which Electros is a pretty good lead for, or Manaphy, but I didn't want to lead Manaphy yet because I thought it had a great matchup versus his team, even with the set I have. If I get rid of Chestnut, Manaphy can potentially sweep. I do lead Electros though, and I'm just going to go straight for a knockoff and see hard switches into Chestnut, the actual Chestnut. And he goes, gets his Rocky Helmet knocked off, so now I know what kind of set that is. I'm just going to go for Toxic because he switches in his Garchomp, I guess predicting the Fire-type move. And he goes for a Toxic of his own as I go for the knockoff, get rid of another Rocky Helmet, which is really, really good for me. Things like Mega Pinsir and my physically attacking Nidoqueen have a little bit better time. Now hard switching to Mew, predicting rocks, so I can defog them away immediately as he brings in Alolan Marowak, or Alolan Muck. I U-turn out, predicting potential pursuit, but I thought he'd most likely go for knockoff. Now he gets a crit on my Electros, and that sucks. Of course, it wouldn't have knocked me out. It would have did a lot, but I outspeed and could U-turn the following turn into any of my mons. See, if I was in Shadow Sneak range from a regular knockoff, I would hard switch into my Hydreigon, and since he would have to go for a anything other than Shadow Sneak, then I would hard switch into my Nidoqueen so I could fire off an Earthquake on the following turn after analyzing some more things. But he does get the crit and it knocks me out, unfortunately. And now I bring in Nidoqueen here and can scare him out. I'm going to go for the Fire Punch, predicting the Chestnut. And I catch the Garchomp, and that's okay. I'm just going to set up my I hard switch out to get the rocks gone again because I'm not letting him get rocks up. I'm going to go for the defog here as he misses a Toxic, which is unfortunate in the sense that my Mew can't be weakened over a period of time. But I am very bulky, so just using Mew as a sack or just utility right now, it's not like I didn't need Mew on my team, so the Toxic dodge didn't really matter that much. He knocks off my leftovers here as I go for the U-turn, get out of there again, and bring in Nidoqueen as he goes for the crunch, and he gets a defense drop, and this is unfortunate in the sense that he's able to click knockoff here. Now, I didn't want to go into my Hydreigon on the crunch I mean, I would have went into my Hydreigon on the crunch, but going into it on a knockoff and losing my life orb, which can potentially be the difference between winning and losing this match, I didn't want to lose my item there. So I opted to set up my Stealth Rocks as he opts to go for the knockoff and actually does knock off my Focus Sash. Even though it's consumed, it's still a held item. So Alolan Mug putting in the finest of work. Going to Mew here so I can burn it. And now this was potentially a chance for Manaphy to come in and set up. But I didn't have anything to hit Chestnut with. If I had Ice Beam or some kind of coverage move to hit Chestnut, I would have come in with Manaphy and set up right here. So I just bring in Mega Pincer, go for the Earthquake. No, I can knock it out. He brings in the Magnet Zone. Now this tells me it's Choice Scarf because I just showed Earthquake, and I know he's just going to go for the Volt Switch. So I go into my Hydreigon, let him get the initiative he wants. Hard swap into my Manaphy, predicting the Dazzling Gleam as he reveals it, which also reveals that he's Life Orb, and I predicted him to predict me to set up the Tail Glow, so he would go for Psychic or Psyshock or Energy Ball, whatever kind of coverage he had. He would try to hit Manaphy for the 2-hit KO as I go for the Tail Glow, but I'm actually just going to take him out right there. I didn't need Manaphy anymore. He goes for the Volt Switch right here, and he gets a crit now. I do need to go over the calcs of that because the Volt Switch, one second. Okay, so here we are again. Take the Psychic, fire off the Scald. He comes in with the Magnet Zone, goes for the Volt Switch, gets a critical hit. And that's important in the sense that had he gotten the minimum roll, I could have lived. Okay, so it still comes down the rolls, no big deal. So it didn't matter in the end. Anyways, he brings out Mamoswine. And now I have a couple different options I could go for here. I could go into my Mega Pincer and pray that he goes for the Ice Shard while I go for Swords Dance or Frustration, hoping that I didn't attack him on the first turn, and then be able to go from Frustration. I could go into Mega Pincer, click Frustration into Quick Attack, which will knock him out. But if he goes for the Icicle Crashes, I go for the Frustration. If he lives the Frustration and then kills me with Icicle Crash, then I lose the best reliable way I have to kill Chestnut. With my set, it actually depends on his Chestnut investment on whether or not, and like his move set as well, is whether or not how this match could end up. But I don't know his sets, and we haven't talked about it since the game happened, so still going in blindfolded here. I thought my best play would be to go into Hydreigon at the time, and that's what I'm going to do. Is I go into Hydreigon here, my Renegade. So he goes for the Ice Shard, and then it struck me that Magnet Zone cleans up now if it's Choice Scarf, Thunderbolt. As I can't go for the Flash Cannon and knock him out here, but the problem is that if I would have went into Mega Pincer and he clicked Frustration, if I clicked Frustration and I knocked him out, which there was a chance I could knock him out, so he may have went for the Ice Shard, but regardless, I could have knocked him out with 2 hits before he knocked me out with Ice Shard with 2 hits. But if he went for the Icicle, if I didn't get the KO with the Frustration and he got the KO with the Icicle Crash, like, I just couldn't risk that. But then like either way, I'm thinking that without maybe if I was the one getting crits in the match and I got a crit here in return for the crits earlier in the defense drop, had I got a crit here with my frustration mega pincer, then I may have had a chance to win the game, as I could revenge kill Mammal Swan with the crit frustration, and then go for Earthquake against Magnezone, as I assume what he would bring in, and then he could go for the Thunderbolt on my Hydreigon, or he could switch into his Chestnut when I brought it in, and then Hydreigon would clean up with Flamethrower, or it plays out in the way that it's going to play out, which is Mamoswine plus Magnezone 100% won this game, regardless. At this point in the match, since Nidoqueen got, defense drop and Edison got crit knocked off. So Magnezone's going to be able to clean through there and going to pick up a 2-0 victory for the St. Louis Carbinks, and we will fall to 5-3 as Andy goes on to 6-2, I believe. And yeah, that's going to be week number 8, and we play. I forgot who we play in week number 9, but it will be a fun one nonetheless. Good game to Andy. I know we don't control the crit, so I don't blame you or have any hard feelings towards you. It was a really fun game nonetheless, like I was saying, and I hope you keep winning, and we'll play again maybe. Yeah, I'm going to leave it at that and get on out of here. If you like, leave a like, comment, subscribe, and all the good stuff, and I'll see you guys next time. Thank you for watching.